Chapter 80. Meeting the Light. Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station shall be held by anyone else, these pages must show. Charles Dickens. The time is here and now as you read this final chapter of the journey of my soul. We are all connected at this moment, because where I am now there is no time, space, or motion, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow are the same in eternity. At last there appeared before me a splendid and radiant angel, clothed in a long, shimmering, flowing white robe. She motioned to me and told me I was ready now to meet the light. I felt peaceful and serene. I was led into a large opalescent chamber that glowed with an iridescent light. My body was dressed in a loose, shimmering white robe tied with a golden sash. I was given a cream-colored cushion to sit on. Then the angel left. There was no one else in the room with me. I drifted in and out of sleep, and when I woke, I felt no fear. The soul knows that to arrive in the afterlife is part of the never-ending cycle of the wheel of reincarnation. I felt the presence of a radiant force, and as I lifted my eyes, there was a dazzling brightness that filled the room. "Welcome, Sebastian. It's been a while since we've seen each other," the light said. "Yes, a lifetime," I answered. "I did speak to you, and I sent you messages when you were on Earth. Sometimes they came through a person or a thought, but you didn't realize the importance. There were times I sent you discomfort and challenges. They were not meant to harm you, but to help you in your spiritual growth," the light continued. "I admit at times I did despair, and I forgot about you," I said. "When you're on Earth, you think earthly thoughts. It's only when you are removed from your physical body and become pure spirit that your thoughts can be those of enlightenment," the light said. "I have so many questions," I began. "Yes, you were seeking many answers in your past life," the light confirmed. "I studied almost every religion, almost every faith, almost every mystic, and almost every sage and prophet. And yet the more I searched, the less I understood," I continued. "The answers you looked for were always there, within you," the light said. "Why is there such pain in the world? Why do people suffer? Why is there confusion and chaos? Why can't we all live peacefully and know fulfillment while we're on Earth?" I questioned. "There are some things that there are no answers for when you are on Earth. Remember, Sebastian, souls are sent to Earth to have a human experience. Think of it as attending school. There are many lessons to learn. While you were in your human body, you were expected to learn to love unconditionally, not just love the people that pleased you and brought you joy, but to also love the sick and the wicked and the unloving. You needed to learn to have hope and faith when the world looked dark and hopeless. You needed to learn to have patience when you didn't see results quickly. You needed to accept responsibility and stop blaming others for your situation. You needed to learn to appreciate whatever blessings surrounded you. There are no problems that do not have solutions, but you were too close at times to see the big picture of life. You did not see a clear picture of the world, and you were prejudiced by your negative thoughts. The world today is submerged in conflicts and chaos. You longed for peace and tranquility, but when you couldn't find what you wanted, you used alternatives to dull your pain. You did not seek the deep and meaningful reasons for your existence. There was a purpose for your return to the school of life on earth. You can see beauty only because there is ugliness. You can know good as good only because there is evil. Carrying body and soul and embracing the one, can you avoid separation? Reincarnation allows you to correct past mistakes and alter your karma, the light told me. I think I understand that, I said. But in your past life, Sebastian, you were so intent on dreaming, you closed your eyes to doing. You spent so much time going back into a past lifetime and wanting to recapture your days of Don Quixote. You lived in a world of dreams and were so busy trying to analyze them that you were not as productive as you should have been. The time and energy you gave with those misdirected energies could have been used for dispersing love and curing pain. To talk little is natural. High winds do not last all morning. Heavy rain does not last all day. If heaven and earth cannot make things eternal, how is it possible for man? Did you think you could take over the universe and improve it? It cannot be done. You did what was forbidden. You tapped into the secrets of the universe. You knew that was wrong, the light said. I tried to comprehend humanity. I wanted to know the answers to life. I was a psychiatrist, and people came to me for help. I didn't stop to think about what was forbidden to me. I even thought studying different religions would make me more mindful of the issues facing troubled people, I told the light. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment. He who knows he has enough is enriched. A truly good man is not aware of his goodness, and therefore is good. A foolish man tries to be good, and is therefore not good. Without going outside, you may know the whole world. Without looking through your window, you may see the ways of heaven. The farther you go, the less you discover. A sage knows without traveling. He sees without looking, and he works without doing. Those who know do not talk. Those who talk do not know. Sebastian, religion and spirituality are different. You can attend all the various religious services faithfully and listen to sermons and read the Bible and other religious books. However, it's the right consciousness that is vital. To sit while services are going on and to have your mind wander to mundane matters does not elevate the soul. There are people who do not belong to any religious group, but yet they still feel the loving messages of the soul. To me, that is a successful life, the light said. What do you mean by successful? I asked. You are part of the light. You were created in my own image. Remember the Psalms. You are gods. You are all sons of the Most High. And remember what Jesus said? Is it not written in your law? I have said you are God. You had everything that you needed inside yourself to solve the problems you were faced with. But in times of challenge, you did not look inward for answers. You became impatient and demanded instant solutions. You would rather take a pill to dull your pain than to take the time to find a spiritual solution. True happiness is rooted in misery, and misery lurks behind false happiness. You came to earth to use your time compassionately and lovingly, helping and assisting. You forgot you should not be concerned with earthly possessions. You came to earth with nothing, and you left with nothing. Yet there was so much wasted energy giving to acquiring things you never used or needed. Time on earth passes too quickly, and you never achieved the realization of what was really important. That is why you experience different situations during your many reincarnations. Sometimes you were wealthy, or ill, or poor, or uneducated. You may have been an artist, a bricklayer, a knight, and a beggar. But within every soul is the need to give and receive love, and this is common in every living creature and unites us all. That was a very important lesson for you to learn, the light said. What about evil souls? the ones that come to the world and cause destruction and pain for multitudes of people?" I asked. "There will always be a substantial percentage of evil souls. They will appear at different times in history and bring havoc and destruction to the world. They are the fake prophets, and they rule with negative and egotistical consciousness. They destroy humanity just as much as earthquakes, or plagues, or erupting volcanoes, or famines. They are greedy and want power. There will always be good and evil, light and dark, right and wrong, and pleasure and pain. It is necessary to know the differences. These forces will always interact. The consciousness of the soul knows only continuity, fulfillment, and joy. It is the physical body that creates the problems. The body has its own consciousness. There are times when a person chooses pain. It is self-chosen to help cleanse karma. Even nature at times exhibits cruelty. There are dire effects of global warming, and the situation is expected to get worse in the future. The increased emission of carbon dioxide from the burning of coal and oil are causing warmer temperatures. The gases collect in the Earth's upper atmosphere, where they slow the natural loss of the sun's heat into space. In mountain ranges, glaciers are retreating and melting faster than they are being created. Population growth has become responsible for atmospheric pollution and is also affecting human suffering. Rapidly expanding population strangles efforts to provide adequate education, nutrition, health care, and shelter. There is overexploitation of the Earth's natural resources. There is destruction of the Earth's tropical rainforests. Millions of people will be killed and millions more displaced over the next century. There will be more tropical diseases, more droughts and floods, and more severe weather. People living in warm climates will suffer crop failure, famines, and acute water shortages. Deserts will increase in size and scope, and farmlands will deteriorate. Flowering dates for trees and plants are shifting, and there are changes in bird and butterfly migration and birth patterns. Wild animals are suffering. Man has tampered with the balance in nature. Water scarcity will be a global challenge in this new century. All over the world, natural water is being pumped faster than it can be replenished by rainfall. Some major rivers on Earth will no longer continuously reach the sea. Within the next 25 years, the number of people in countries unable to meet their domestic, industrial, and agricultural water needs will increase dramatically. Eventually, corporate visionaries will take over the water. Many of the world's wells will run dry, and major corporations will take over a substance nobody can live without. Other freshwater lakes and rivers will become polluted. Inevitably, the lack of water will generate multiple problems and cause international conflicts. Water will be to the 21st century what oil was to the 20th century. Water will be a precious commodity that will determine the wealth of nations, the light explained. "What needs to be done?" I questioned. "Humans need to change their ways. If they don't change in the next 50 years, 2/3 of humanity will be living with tremendous freshwater shortages. Water resources are finite. However, they are for sale all over the world right now. Water resources will be privatized in the coming years, and only the market will determine its future price. Major corporations believe that water is a human necessity, but not a human right. Ultimately, water will be taken over by force. Everything is out of control," the light said. "It was you that created heaven and earth. It was you who knew everything," I acknowledged. "Yes, I did create the world, and every living thing in it had a purpose. I became attached to my creations. I believed in them and had faith in them, because I was the Father. I have been good to souls that are good. I have also been good to souls that were not good. I have had faith in souls that were faithful. I have also had faith in souls that were not faithful. I gave people free will because I thought they would choose the right path. but the souls did not listen to me. I saw what happened on earth, and I was disappointed, because I was the creator. But the people were driven only by desire. The human desires were rooted primarily in their animal experience. They need, they want, and they seek to satisfy their desires to the fullest extent. The souls became totally ignorant of their own nature when they entered a human body. I lost my patience and became frustrated and angry. There were many times I punished the people, hoping they would change their ways, the light told me. During the time of Genesis, didn't you promise you would never destroy the world? Yet you didn't keep your promise, I said. It was not I that destroyed the world, it was man. When the souls went into human bodies, they moved apart from me and did not share the Creator. They did not respect each other, or water, and plants, and animals. I contrived a beautiful rainbow to remind mankind that although I would never destroy the earth, it is man that must protect the balance of the universe. The rainbow appears from time to time as a symbol to remind humans that there are universal rules to be followed concerning all living things on earth, the light told me. I always thought of you as a forgiving father, I voiced. Just as a father loves his children, so have I loved my children. Just as a father shares everything he possesses with his children, so I have given spiritual and physical riches beyond belief to my family. I have been forgiving and have given my children many chances, but they keep repeating the same mistakes. I have become bewildered and astonished at their behavior. I could not understand. I have tried everything. I have been angry and vindictive, yet I have also shown mercy in giving them many chances to correct their ways. My children were souls sent to earth to have human experiences. I can no longer look away and make excuses for their conduct. Even if I have punished my children, they still have not learned. And now I am being challenged by scientists who began many years ago by building robots that can be programmed to do the work of humans. Today, soulless corporate giants run the world. Tomorrow, soulless corporate giants will be run by soulless corporate executives, the light said. Can you explain something to me? I had a dream about a woman in Burma, and I don't know what it meant, I queried. Sebastian, part of your soul is with a woman in Burma. She is in prison, she is a writer, and she was put away because her views were considered dangerous. She is a humanitarian and concerned with the plights of the oppressed people, the light said. Does she know about me? I asked. No, she is unaware of your existence, even though she shares part of your soul, the light answered. Can you explain how everything began and how people share souls? I questioned. I am the light, and in the beginning I created heaven and earth, and I brought light into darkness. For thousands and thousands of years I experienced being the light, and I experienced being the darkness, the light said. But I don't understand. In Genesis it states that you created the world in 6 days, I said. That is because one of my days is equivalent to thousands of years on earth. Then I created water, and for thousands and thousands of years I experienced being water. Then I created minerals, and for thousands and thousands of years I experienced being a mineral. Next I created plants, and for thousands and thousands of years I experienced being a plant. Then I created fish, and for thousands and thousands of years I experienced being a fish. Eventually I created animals, and for thousands and thousands of years I experienced being an animal. Then I evolved animals into man. However, animals never torture or kill except for food, or treat other animals with cruelty. Yet somehow the combination of animals and human beings created the necessary conditions for man to evolve into a beast, able to commit acts that no animal would ever conceive. Although I had created man, I was not pleased with my creation. I felt something was lacking. It was then that I created 600,000 souls as part of myself, and I gave spiritual life to man. With each of these new souls, I placed a new DNA molecule to evolve the human body into human consciousness. DNA did not develop on Earth. It was a gift from heaven to man. Without this DNA, evolution would not be possible. Sebastian, this is the answer you've always looked for. These 600,000 souls became human beings. They are part of me, and I am a part of them. You are all gods, divine beings. You are sons of the Most High. The human experience of souls started more than 66,000 years ago. The creation of those souls is the missing link that scientists do not want to accept when they ponder the evolution of man from animals. Sebastian, you are both God and human. When these 600,000 souls went into human bodies, primitive man acquired human being consciousness. It took about 60,000 years for these souls to master their knowledge and to fully evolve into human beings. These original 600,000 souls wanted to expand their knowledge and experiences, so we decided they could expand 10 times. The total number of souls connected to the light reached 6 million. It took another 6,000 years for the 6 million souls to master their new experiences. Then the souls wanted to receive even more experiences, so we agreed to expand 10 more times, and the souls now reached 60 million. The souls became capable of mastering experiences faster, and it took only 3,000 years for the soul to reach 60 million. At this point I decided to send prophets, which were complete and undivided souls, to Earth to guide and direct the soul experience. I sent Noah and Abraham and Moses, and I hoped a new qualitative step would be taken in soul evolution. However, at this point the souls were becoming more and more disconnected from the light. Then I sent new teachers, Krishna, Buddha, and Confucius. Even this did not help, and the souls still remained distant from the light. The situations on Earth were becoming more and more confused, but the souls still wanted to expand their experiences. I didn't think the souls should expand again, but I had given the souls free will, and they were powerful. So I had to agree, and they expanded another 10 times. There were now 600 million souls. The whole process was out of control. Many souls, when they had completed their cycles on Earth, did not return to the light. They became attached to earthly things. I sent Josiah, John the Baptist, and Jesus, and later on I sent Muhammad. Jesus changed the world in many ways, but not in some of the ways that I wanted. Jesus performed too many miracles, and after that everyone expected miracles from me instead of working for miracles within themselves. The souls didn't listen to the prophets or me, and the human experience got worse. In addition, life experiences on Earth became shorter for human beings, since the amount of light they received became smaller. My original idea was to have longer lives for souls so that they could experience more lessons in one lifetime. The primary theory was to have 600 lives per soul, and 12 houses of the zodiac would be used. Every soul would live in every house 50 times, bringing the total number of lives and experiences to 600 in order to complete the full cycle. Somehow, with the expansion of the souls, that went totally out of control. Noah lived 700 years and was able to master many human experiences. Abraham and other souls also lived hundreds and hundreds of years. But now souls live 10 times less, since they do not have the benefit of the full power of the light with them. The original souls were undivided. As the souls kept expanding, the strength in every human being diminished, and the souls kept distancing from the power of the light. The process of the expansion of souls when they reached 600 million took about 2,500 years. The situation became drastic 300 years ago, when the souls were completely out of control. Then, when the souls went into yet another expansion, going from 600 million to 1,200 million souls, it took only 150 years. Then it took only 100 years to reach 1.2 billion souls. It took only 35 years to go from 2.5 billion to 5 billion, and then it took only 12 years to go from 5 billion to 6 billion souls. Human bodies in the world population grew at an enormous pace, and the light went dimmer and dimmer each time. This growth in population was bound up with poverty. Material and spiritual poverty began to plunder the earth. In the near future, starving human beings will eat anything, and eventually they will destroy all the resources on earth. There appears to be little hope for survival. If this continues, it will take less than 50 years for the world population to reach 9 billion, but approximately half of the human bodies will have no souls. The light is growing dim as souls grow farther away, the light tried to explain. It's difficult for me to follow that concept, I said. Attempt to hypothesize that one man owns a prosperous store and wants to expand. He opens 10 stores, and it's still flourishing. He expands once more and now has 100 stores. Along with his expansion comes loss of control. He cannot oversee everything. Contemplate what will happen if he keeps growing and growing until he finally has 10,000 stores. His expansion is totally out of control, and he cannot oversee the details. His power is diminished because he cannot be everywhere at once, watching everything. His authority grows weaker as his responsibilities increase, the light said. It's still difficult for me to grasp, I admitted. You did not understand the messages I sent. I wanted you to comprehend that human beings are all the same and are all part of me. Each original soul is now similar to that of an actor, divided 10,000 times, to be able to experience 10,000 different roles. Lao Tzu explained it beautifully, describing it as the mother of the 10,000 things. Within a lifetime there may be 10,000 people you may encounter, as part of your soul is within each of them. As you destroy each other, you do not understand you are savagely killing yourselves. You permit suffering, starvation, torture, and brutality to exist in a world that I created with love. The unexplained sadness you feel within yourself at times is for the injustices you inflict on people you think you have no connection with, but your soul knows the truth. You may break hearts, but be careful, because the heart you break may be your own. Every time you go into the world, the main purpose is to change your past. Past, present, and future are always with you. When you come back to the world, you bring your baggage from previous lifetimes. Sometimes the baggage is too heavy. You see, Sebastian, in the beginning all souls agreed to go through a learning experience. We agreed they would change locations, religions, and genders. But through their successive reincarnations, many souls are forgetting their true nature and want to reincarnate as soon as possible. They just try to get the first available body of the same race and within the most familiar country. The original experiment has been forgotten. The baggage is too heavy, and the emotions are too strong to have a conscious selection of the next reincarnation. The majority of the souls are going back into the battlefield very quickly and looking for revenge. They go back to Earth, and they are immediately disconnected from the light, the light explained. Is that why there's so much hatred in the world? I inquired. Yes. Hate is not fully discarded in the afterlife. The learning place is more like the waiting place. It's just a place to find a new body and get back to Earth. The emotions are running high in the afterlife. Remember, Sebastian, we are all part of the universe, and we each have our own mission. Never feel you are more important in the scheme of life than the merit of a tiny ant. The sun will continue to rise and set without you, even after you're gone. Sebastian, I have lost control, because souls have continued to divide without realizing the consequences. I am distraught by the chaos and confusion I see in the world. The number of souls has gotten out of hand, and souls are losing their identities. These are the unfortunate conditions that I am forced to witness on earth. I can no longer bear the pain of watching my children dishonor the world I created for them. Now they have decided to take matters into their own hands, and they want to be the creators, the light confided. Do you mean cloning? I questioned. Yes, and I don't know what the ramifications will be when that begins, the light says. You are God. Surely you must know the outcome. You know everything, I told him. I don't know, because this is not of my doing, and it's a new concept. The scientists have taken things into their own hands, and now they will begin to clone humans. They will eventually make life into an industrial product. The race for a human clone is inevitable. The significance of what it means to be human is at stake. Our understanding of the relationship between parents and children, the means and ends and beginnings are being shaken. Very soon even dogs and cats will be cloned. In the beginning, as with any new technology, the price of cloning a pet may be exorbitant, but perhaps in 30 or 40 years it will become accessible and widely accepted. Men are now taking it upon themselves to copy DNA in human skin cells to start new life. No one understands the ramifications of this. Things could go wrong, and disaster could occur. In cloning, scientists slip a cell from an adult into an egg with its genetic material removed. The egg reprograms the adult cell's genes. These genes may go amiss at any time. People are so willing to clone they don't see the big picture of the negative issues. In no more than 10 years, scientists will be transplanting genetically modified hearts and other organs from pigs to people. They're changing pigs' genes to make them closer to human organs. Eventually, they will succeed. However, all pig cells carry a so-called retrovirus. This virus is harmless to pigs, but no one knows the effects it might have on humans. Humans will want to use their fortunes to clone themselves in an effort to achieve immortality. Technology will take over, and later on, clones of clones will give birth to other clones. Every entity should undergo a process of birth and death. However, it's possible in less than 100 years, scientists will be able to manipulate genes from other species and reverse them at their will, therefore creating living species that would never have been able to evolve on their own. Species and humankind will be under human control. Divine control will dissipate. Humans will remove unwanted parts of its genetic code, allowing the human race to remake itself. There will be human concern about where to draw the line, but eventually there will be no line. Sebastian, I allowed the human consciousness to rule the earth. I was hoping that you would seek the reunion with God, but the human race has chosen to continue to rule its domain in an earthly, not spiritual way. A microchip will be implanted at birth in everybody. The microchip will be encoded with all kinds of information about the person. Police and emergency workers will have scanners able to read the chip. People will be easily identified and controlled. A lot of personal freedom will be taken away. Scientists will recommend that different types of embryonic stem cells will be necessary if science is to advance. Science will use the new cloning technology to give birth to new stem cells that will be used to treat patients. The new cells will be the answer for rejuvenating medical therapies. Scientists will create replacement tissues or organs that could treat any disease. The new stem cell lives would be vital to replace those that become unviable. More and more people will become atheists. There will be many people cloned with no souls. They will speculate that God is just a theory, and there is no proof of his existence. If you will attempt to have a spiritual conversation with them about the soul, they will not be able to comprehend, because they will not have had that knowledge within them. Many of these people will inhabit the earth. Although they will have physical bodies that feel emotions, They will be devoid of spirituality in their lives. They will just go through a human experience. They will live only one lifetime and will not be reincarnated, because they will have no soul. Then they will not be part of the circle of life. They may possess brilliant and scientific minds, and may be highly intelligent. They may have the ability to build and create many marvels, but since they are not creations of mine, I will have no control over them. I am uncertain of what their capabilities will be. They may destroy as easily as they create. Every time you make a clone, you create your own universe. Therefore, I don't know the outcome. Cloning will be technically possible. It could also be inefficient and risky. Also, any accomplishments will present huge challenges to every premise of scientific, religious, and legal thought. There is bound to be controversy. To many it will be condemned as an ethical abomination akin to playing God. To others it may be hailed as a huge medical breakthrough and an accomplishment that may cure many diseases, including those of aging. You can see how circumstances are getting out of hand, and I'm losing command over my domain. But I have to permit it. In the beginning I gave man free will and choice, and now this new technology will be available to man because it is man's will. Cloning will exist because the marketplace is ready for it. A new cloning insurance business will develop. People will pay a premium and receive a clone of themselves at the same time. Egomaniacs will get their own personal copies of themselves. People that are dissatisfied with their lives will have an opportunity to start over again. They will receive a second chance to be themselves, but in an improved version, emotionally, physically, and mentally. New ethics will be created, and anyone who wants to have a child will have one. Grieving parents will be able to have a replica of their dead child, the light complained. But what will happen to the people with souls? After they die, will they continue to reincarnate and come back to Earth? I asked. Sebastian, the past, present, and future takes place at the same time. When you reincarnate, you have the opportunity to reincarnate in the past, the present, or the future. You may want to experience a certain period for different learning reasons, and you may reincarnate in the past. Let's say you were a slave master in the 18th century. You may want to go back to that same century as a slave so that you can experience what you made other souls experience. You may go back as a soul and choose the same body as you chose before, but this time the outcome of your reincarnation will be different. You'll be creating a different universe, influencing people in a different way, and creating a final outcome totally different than the previous one. Many souls will prefer to go back into the past rather than face the uncertainty of something that was not created by me. Eventually, many of the souls will come back to the light explained. Then what will happen? I questioned. There is a city of God in heaven, where there are 600,000 homes for the 600,000 original souls. In the near future, in a dominant country in the world, an innocent man will be sentenced to death. The case will be highly controversial all over the world, and that will be the signal for the remaining souls to complete their cycles on earth and return to me. In order to come home, all 10,000 parts of the souls must unite as one. As more and more souls complete their missions on earth, they will be choosing to remain with the light and not return to earth. Since returning to earth is a choice and not a requirement, it appears as if many souls will not want to return to a disorganized world with no spirituality. Souls will not want to be controlled by computers and lose their freedom. Souls will not want to return to earth where people can be found guilty and sentenced to spend time in jail because they neglected to put on a seatbelt. They will not want the authorities to put them to work in huge prisons and wrongfully benefit from their labor. Slavery will be back. In the future, the world and human beings will be totally governed and controlled by technology. Freedom, the way it is understood today, will be a thing of the past. Eventually, there will be a world government. This world government will try to create a uniformed world religion. This new world religion will present itself to the intellect and heart of the people. They will try to create a religion in which people of every religion will find in the world religion the essence of the souls of their own faith. Today every religion is the answer from the universal soul to the seeking spirits of men that came forth from myself. In order to be widely accepted, the world religion of the future will have a simple philosophy, the light explained. What kind of philosophy? I queried. It will have to have a satisfactory answer to the reasons to all the great problems of life. The new religion will try to satisfy reason, and it must show the unity underlying the endless diversity of the facts that science observes, the light answered. What is sin? I questioned. Ignorance is sin. Suffering is the outcome, and in that suffering lies the lesson, and in that lesson lies the remedy. Since the advance of medical technology, many people are living longer lives, but their remaining years are filled with loneliness and despair. They are no longer revered and respected. They are forced to spend their last years alone, in frustration and hopelessness. Many souls that experience this will not want to return to the harshness of an earthly life. Many other souls will not want to interact with people on earth who have no souls or are evil souls. There are transient souls who cannot come back to the light yet. They remain in other dimensions close to earth, and they will attempt to enter the bodies of people without souls. In the next few centuries, anything will be possible. Human cloning will become a reality and widely accepted. It will be presented by some scientists as the only way to humanity's survival. These cloned bodies will have no soul and will be an easy target for evil souls. The world will face many difficult and grave problems in the future, the light declared. You are God. You created the laws of our existence, I told him. Sebastian, the laws under which your consciousness worked while you were on earth have no existence in here. The thought of a moment in here contains a mass of events that would take years to pass in succession in the world of space and time that you just left. You are here now to assimilate the experiences of your past life on earth. All the pains that you suffered in your human body will become advantages in your next life, the light revealed. If I was on earth before, why don't I remember it while I'm there? I asked. What remains with you throughout the cycle of reincarnation is your spiritual body. The mind body and the brain are new. The spirit furnishes the mind with the results of the past, not with the memory of its events, the light informed me. Can you give me an example? I asked. Before I gave you an example of the soul owning 1 store, 100 stores, and 10,000 stores. The owner of the stores closes the year's ledger at the end of the year and opens a new ledger for the new year. In the new ledger he does not enter all of the items of the old year, but only the balances. This is exactly what the spirit does. He places in the new brain his judgments on the experiences of life that is already closed, the conclusions to which he has come, and the decisions that he has reached. This is your baggage for your new life. This is your real memory. Then, when you reincarnate again, you become master of your own destiny. You are the result of your individual past, and you are what you have made of yourself, the light explained. What of love? What will happen to the world if there's no love? You said we should love our neighbors like ourselves, I asked. My dear Sebastian, I was wrong to ask that of people. I have come to learn that it is impossible for people to love everyone. Love is an emotion and is not subject to will. No human being can love another human being because he's told to do so, even commanded to do so. Human beings cannot love because they will be rewarded or punished. My standards were too high. Now I will be happy to settle for people loving who they can, respecting the universe, respecting each other, and not murdering anyone. I created people with love, for love. I was learning along with all of you, and I did know then that understanding the needs of other people will be the only way to get closer to the emotion of love. You cannot buy emotions. You may pretend to love someone, but in your own heart you know that love is priceless and cannot be bought. Not even the command of God can make you love your perceived enemies, or people that you might not like because they are different than you. Unfortunately, we cannot win the hearts and minds of our perceived enemies with love and understanding. But we can learn to respect everyone. It's hard, but I believe we can do it, the light said. What will happen to civilization? I wanted to know. It is now the year 5760 by the oldest human calendar. In another 240 years we will reach the year 6000. Souls will have until then to complete their cycles. At this time it is impossible for me to keep track of everyone, because of so much has happened without my consent. When all the remaining of the original 600,000 souls that I have created will achieve their debts of karma, regroup, and come home, there will be love, continuity, and enlightenment. As for the souls that miss the deadline, they will return on earth, less attached and distant from me. They will be lost souls, unable to make a connection, the light explained. What will happen to the people left on earth with no souls? I questioned him. They will perpetuate themselves and will remain active until perhaps a global nuclear war causes an apocalypse. And then there's a possibility they may be destroyed by global chemical warfare, the light said. How can people be healed? I asked. They must concentrate on my light and see nothing but the light. They must focus on me and not be distracted by earthly concerns or chaotic conditions. If their souls will connect to my light, they will be drawn closer to my strength and power. They must learn to trust in the light and to have certainty and faith. They must believe in the universal power of love. There will always be guardian angels and guides to lead the way. Each person is the master of his own soul and has part of God inside him. Each person has free will. People must learn to expect miracles because they happen every day, the light said. And then? I asked. Life on earth is a play, already written. Every ending brings a new beginning. The wheel keeps turning, but always going back before it can go forward. I chose Hebrew in the beginning to communicate with you. The first name you knew me by was Yahweh, YHVH. Now in the 21st century I have chosen the English language to divulge the significance of my numbers and letters. G, D. G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and D is the 4th letter. 7 plus 4 equals 11, the light explained. What about the letter 0? I questioned. I gave you the 22 letters of the original Hebrew language without vowels. Later on, during evolution, you started using vowels to facilitate communication. Sebastian, remember that my numbers for you on earth are 7 and 4. What is the importance of those numbers? I wanted to know. They will give you a better understanding of God today and will help you to discover answers to your questions in the future. To show you the importance of these numbers, I created 7 seas and 4 oceans and 7 continents and 4 corners of the earth. The answers were always there. You were always living with them, but you didn't understand the significance. My messages can be found in those numbers, 7 plus 4, 11. Or in the subtraction, 7 minus 4 equals 3. You should study the Bible and other sacred books to find clarification. Number 11 will bring a lot of challenges into your daily life. Numbers 7 and 4 will bring you a multitude of blessings and hope. I established a covenant with America, an alliance between this new free country and myself, to be an example for the rest of the world. The date I chose was 7 and 4, July 4th. The gates of the city of God are always open for any soul that wants to return. Even the weakest will always be welcome with love in the house of the Father. Always remember, if you are open to the light, you will receive endless blessings. My soul in you is the reflection of the universal life. It is the individualized life incarnated in a form. That form is the body, who represents the matter of the universe. I am present in everything that lives. In a universe where all is living, my light is always present, supporting and maintaining the universal existence. Everything that is most beautiful, everything that is most splendid, everything that warms your heart and brings joy into your life, all of that is myself and yourself, as well as an individualized soul in the living object. All that, magnificent and exquisite, is but a reflection of my smile and your strength. Believe in the hidden power of prayers, have faith, and know that with God's help, anything is possible, the light declared. Before you go, tell me, what is the creative force of the universe? I asked. The creative power in myself and in yourself is thought. God's thought makes universes. Your thought makes yourself, the light concluded.